ultimately they intimate that this is where we will have to go as this now pandemic expands into tyranny.
And this is the cover to get the unpopular eugenics healthcare passed. This is the cover to get the whole bioethics system passed. This is the cover to get the Clean Water Restoration Act, total federalization of above and below ground water. Basically, the entire United States has water under it. This is the cover to pass the anti-gun bills, the anti-free speech bills that openly say you have no more free speech. This is the cover to pass the Cybersecurity Act, where, quote, the president can kill the internet to save the internet. This is the cover for people to not worry about him expanding the war in Afghanistan and Pakistan they just announced. I see this, and now Congressman Brown, Paul, and even Army, former Republican leader, has come out and said that. So when you hear mainline Republicans like Brown and Army saying this is a cover for martial law, you better know it's serious. Your comments on that, Dr. Horowitz?
Yes, and one additional thing that it's a cover for, taking out people's access to the botanicals and the herbs and the natural healing remedies. They completely, hideously, gross criminal negligence. That's what they are doing with this whole concept that you've got to get vaccinated and intoxicated in order to defend yourself against the swine flu. There are so many wonderful natural healing methods that they should be telling people about, but because it's a drug cartel influenced agenda, essentially you've got no mention. That is killing people. That is gross criminal negligence in and of itself, and it goes along with the Codex Alimentarius legislation, where, again, fist of fascism, strangling people. That's what they're about.
And the amazing thing is they've introduced the anti-gun bills. They've introduced the bills that ban speech. It's passed the House. They introduced bills to set up youth brigades and pass one setting up the federal body to carry it out. They, in Europe, in many countries, under the Codex Alimentarius, are making vitamin C and fish oil prescription. So instead of paying $10 for a bottle, they're literally paying $250. It's really happening, and they do this psyop of denying as they rolled forward, just like the tanks at Waco, as they were shooting the people, were broadcasting this is not an assault.
Right. You know, the lie that they keep saying that this is safe, that these vaccines are tested, any, again, reasonably intelligent person would know that they can't possibly go long term. You know, if you get bitten by a snake, you don't die instantly. It takes a certain amount of time for the toxicity to build up. Likewise, when you get injected with foreign genetic material, it takes years potentially for cancers to come out. So the reality is that they absolutely are lying in your face. You know, what people should remember is what they told the Holocaust victims as they marched them into the concentration camp gas chambers. They told them they were going there for public health, for disinfection. Today they're telling people to go get vaccinated for the same reason.
Stay there.
They railed against the crown, another ragtag band declaring independence.
Dr. Horowitz is going to be with us for this segment, the next. We got Dr. Russell Blaylock, neurologist, brain surgeon, coming up to back up everything Horowitz has been talking about here today in great detail. Dr. Horowitz, I had psychology today viciously savage me, and they basically say I'm schizophrenic and imagined I was at a Bilderberg group meeting and imagined I was being followed. It didn't matter if Secret Service was there, it was on the news. They just say it was having basically a complete psychotic hallucination. Like I was on, 1,000 milligrams of pure LSD. This isn't going to work anymore, them just stonewalling. And I think about psychiatrists, psychologists. The Nazis first used them. The Soviets used them. They say we're crazy. They always use the medical system as their tyranny. The eugenics in this country. The family courts were set up, as you know, to carry out eugenics and sterilization. We still have these unconstitutional courts today that don't have due process. And we have state officials here in Texas, when they were asked why 69% of school kids, foster kids, are on psychotropic drugs, they said, well, they have bad genes. So this is really a murderous cult.
absolutely. I would say congratulations to you. Bo Greitz, I know, he's a friend of ours. He always say to me, Len, the flak never gets heavy until you're over the target. And so if you're getting whacked by Psychology Today or all of us, you, me, all of us at the forefront, and I'm so happy you have Russell Blaylock on coming up because, again, we're all getting whacked because we're over the target. And so, just keep it up, Alex.
Well, thank you. I know that's a great analogy, World War II. I think Bo Greit's dad actually died over Germany, and so that's why Bo likes that analogy, but it certainly isn't. When you're over the target, that's when you are going to be getting the flak, and we are dropping the big truth bombs on them. Okay, continuing, how do you see them rolling this out? I mean, you think they're going to may go hot with it? And B, what do we do to get the word out to stop them? I mean, is there anything in your educated opinion we can do? It seems like they are losing some steam. They're out having to tell us that, oh, yeah, we think the vaccine's safe.
Well, again, it's really, gee whiz, I wish I had a crystal ball, but the reality is the worst-case scenario I've laid out. The other least problematic scenario would be that they've already done the harm. They've already purchased, they've stockpiled, they've already brainwashed, they've already gotten at least probably a third of the United States public to intend to roll up their sleeves. The sheeple are going to go back to the slaughter, and they've got a victory. They've got food for their pharmaceutical cartel. They've got to have all these people sick. They're going to have it during the economic collapse. They're going to be well cared for financially, and on top of that, they're going to be reducing a lot of the population, which is their goal.
And it's going to be soft killing them for a long time. And with these soft kill weapons, God only knows. They're now admitting the chemtrailing on the news. Who knows what we've already, all of us, had implanted in us?
Yeah, well, certainly. Look at just the fact that the chemtrails have aluminum, and aluminum, heavy metal, has a resonance frequency, and it has its transmission attenuation capacity. So, for all we know, and it's a very highly suspect, because when you look at vaccination mercury, and you look at the decimation, particularly of our children, this autistic spectrum that they've been covering up and lying about, you've got to see that these people are totally about population reduction, population control, and spiritual, energetic suppression.
They just love the power trip that they write their textbooks, how they're killing us, and then they have John P. Holdren on David Letterman saying how great he is. It's just all a big sick joke to them. Stay with us.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Got Dr. Russell Blaylock coming up, neurologist, to back up everything Dr. Horowitz has been talking about. Got a filmmaker shifting gears in the next 50 minutes, covering a host of issues with the film Crude, about what the oil companies are doing in Latin America, harrowing tales, coming up with the filmmaker, Joe Bellinger. But in the 4 or 5 minutes we have left with Dr. Len Horowitz, fluscam.com is his website. We have links to it up at Infowars.com. Dr. Horowitz, in closing, we are beginning, though, to really have people listen to us and wake up. And that's the good news. And so much of what you and others were lone voices in the wilderness were talking about is now being validated and verified and vindicated. But at the same time, it seems like there's 30, 40, 50% of people that are kind of awake now, but then that other half are getting deeper into denial, and we just see them dying, and people that are 10 years old with cancer everywhere, and neighbors dying, and young women dying everywhere, and men dying, and disease everywhere. I mean, this is a Holocaust. When the hell are people going to really wake up and realize that psychopathic killers are running things?
I think that most of us who are intelligent have already awakened to that reality. Those who haven't, they're going to be taken out, and they're going to be taken out most expensively. I think that the opportunity that it currently exists, if we marshal the half of us who have awakened to literally create a revolution in healthcare,